If you don't have anything queued up, Graham, I think engineering had a suggestion. But if you're working on something...
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay. Hey, engineering.
Hey, engineering.
No.
You're engineering.
No, he's engineering.
Oh.
I've fallen a little behind on Riverdale lately.
Yeah.
Do you think you could catch me up?
Yeah, so there was a very good thread that I would argue needs to go into the Twitter Hall of Fame forever.
Yeah.
Which recaps the entirety of Riverdale. So in case you haven't watched it, and you plan on it, go away for 5 minutes. Because this recaps it in the most beautiful, beautiful way. So I'm going to put on some very thematic music, which briefly came in earlier.
Yeah, all right.
So, Riverdale is ending soon, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious about what's been going on, but don't want to sit through 116 episodes. Well, you're in luck, because I just rewatched it all in 1 week and wrote a brief recap that I will now share to you, so you can jump right into the final season. Disclaimer. I'm leaving a lot of points out to focus on the very basics. Also, please support this thread. I did write it for fun. Riverdale is a CW series loosely based on the Archie comics. It follows Jughead Jones, a quiet outcast and writer, Betty Cooper, the girl next door, Veronica Lodge, a rich socialite, Cheryl Blossom, the head bee in charge, and Archie Andrews, who is also there.
Accurate.
The series opens with Jughead, the narrator, writing an article about Cheryl and her twin brother, Jason Blossoms. They went on a boat ride for the 4th of July when Jason fell into the water and drowned. He is presumed dead, ruled an accident, but no body is found. Betty loves Archie, but he's into the new girl in town, Veronica. Despite this, Betty and Veronica become best friends as Betty's other BFF, Kevin, hovers around them like a one-dimensional gay mosquito. Anyways, guess what? Turns out Jason didn't drown. He was shot. Cheryl is arrested on suspicion of her brother's murder, but she's cleared. Betty puts on a wig and lingerie and waterboards a male student with maple syrup.
Oh, you haven't seen Riverdale?
No!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
Oh, settle in.
This show is in like season 6 or 7. We've barely made it through a third of like season 1 at the moment. Strap in.
Meanwhile, Archie has to make a difficult choice: football or music. These subplots are all treated with the exact same equal importance. Jughead is homeless and living at the drive-in, then in a supply closet at the school. We meet his dad, F.P. Jones, played by Skeet Ulrich. He's the head of a gang called the Southside Serpents. F.P. stands for Forsyth Pendleton, which is also Jughead's real name. Betty, who is now dating Jughead, throws him a birthday party, even though he hates birthdays, which results in this.
Yeah.
You haven't noticed. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird. Okay.
We find out Betty's older sister, Polly, was sent away after Jason got her pregnant. FP is the main suspect at this point, but at the last second, the Scooby-Doo gang conveniently finds a USB stick that contains a video of the murder. The culprit is revealed to be Cheryl and Jason's dad. Jason found out he was using their family maple syrup business as a front for heroin dealings. He had to go. He was also planning to run away with Polly and marry her, but it turns out they're actually cousins, so maybe that's for the best. Cheryl tries to drown herself, but Archie saves her. Then she sets her house on fire. Archie and Veronica and Betty and Jughead have simultaneous sex scenes while Imagine Dragons blasts in the background. Betty and Jughead are interrupted by the Serpents, who recruit Jughead, and Imagine Dragons continues. Archie's dad is shot by a man in a black hood. He's rushed to the hospital.
Okay. Now we're on to season 2.
Yes. Cheryl is already there with her mom, who is in critical condition after the fire. Archie and Veronica have sex again. Jughead eats a burger and monologues about it. Another Imagine Dragons song plays. The Black Hood starts harassing Betty with threatening phone calls. As he claims more victims, Archie puts together a team of masked vigilantes called the Red Circle. They don't end up doing much except spray paint like one wall.
Accurate.
Betty tracks down her long-lost brother named Charles, a.k.a. Chic. He moves in with them. Eventually, she finds out Chick is not really her brother, but the real Charles's former friend slash roommate slash gay lover, who he killed and is impersonating him.
Please keep in mind, all of these people are in high school.
What?
Yeah, Riverdale.
Now, we need to take a side note and take a moment to appreciate the names of the side characters in this series.
Oh, yeah.
I'm skimming episode 2/21 while writing this, and so far I've heard Papa Poutine, Small Fry, Fangs Fogarty, Sweet Pea, Mrs. Clump, a great-grandpappy Cooper, all mentioned in very serious contexts. The Black Hood is finally revealed, actually for the second time because he got revealed in the Christmas special to be the janitor or something, but it was a red herring. It's Betty's dad. Don't ask me what his motive was. I think they just made this one up on the spot. Meanwhile, Veronica's dad has been busy framing Archie for murder, and he gets arrested. In the season 2 finale, Jughead is crowned King of the Serpents. I can't tell if the song here that plays is more Imagine Dragons, but it definitely sounds like it. Archie's trial results in a hung jury, so he goes home, his fate hanging in the balance. The others throw a pool party, and then this happens.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is this some sort of midsummer? Wait, those children are floating.
Yes, they are floating and then dropped into the fire. The floating babies are Juniper and Dagwood, Polly and Jason's kids. Polly and Mrs. Cooper join a cult called The Farm. Meanwhile, a kid named Dilton Doily is seen playing a game called Griffins and Gargoyles, and then dies under mysterious circumstances.
Dilton Doily?
Dilton Doily.
Yeah.
I assumed.
Yeah, a lot of these names are
But
from the
it's just
comic.
very silly names.
Oh, yeah.
So Betty and Jughead investigate Griffins and Gargoyles and find out the players are drinking poison goblets to sacrifice themselves to the Gargoyle King.
I think this is season
Riverdale!
3 now.
What? Oh, yeah.
Again, like,
Yeah.
high school students, and also, there's just a bunch of wild stuff that's been glossed over and left out.
Yeah.
Please continue.
The big mystery this season is the identity of the king, who wears a spooky mask and hangs out in the woods. Archie goes to juvie, and surely you've seen this.
Yep. Oh, I love this.
I dropped out in 4th grade to run drugs to support my nana.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
Yup. Dropped out in the 4th grade to sell drugs to support my nana.
Epic
I
highs
was
and
off
lows of
camera
high school
ordering
football.
food, and that was enough.
Who buys drugs from a 10-year-old?
Why is this? Why does this show exist?
Hey, miss, you want to buy some drugs?
What is it with the U.S. and high school football also, by the way?
I don't know.
It's a thing, and it all. I mean,
Yeah, it's a thing.
hey, real talk. It's a way for schools to make money and inflate their athletics programs to try to get more budget from the state in a really weird way.
Yeah.
Is that one of the highs or one of the lows?
That's well, capitalism's a low, so.
Please keep in mind, 6 seasons, we're in season 3. And Captain Hat just took us up to the next hour.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right. Now we're on to the iconic Midnight Club episode, in which the actors play younger versions of themselves who meet in detention. It's like the Breakfast Club, except they all play Griffins and Gargoyles, and a similar ritualistic sacrifice happens at the end, and they never speak of it again.
Wait, so this is something that is this a flashback?
Yes.
So like they all knew that this was a thing? Like they as younger
Younger versions of
Like-
their parents.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was like they previously did
Yeah.
a sacrifice and then are just surprised when other people start doing stuff. Okay, that makes way more sense. Also, that's still messed up.
Yeah. Archie attempts to escape from juvie but fails. Then joins the prison fight club. Then
Right, because Archie's character is just some abs that make mistakes.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Then he kisses Kevin's serpent ex-boyfriend Joaquin. Then Joaquin stabs him. Then Veronica wears a terrible wig. Then he escapes again. This all happened in one episode.
Yep.
Archie flees to Canada. Betty gets sent away to live at the farm.
Upstate.
Yeah. Which is a boarding school now and not a club or not a cult.
Sure.
They drug her with fizzle rocks, not to be confused with jingle jangle, the drug the serpents are involved with.
Yeah, Jingle Jangle was season 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Oh, good.
the citizens of Riverdale are having mass seizures, so Veronica's dad has the town quarantined.
He can just do that?
He owns the town. He's so rich.
People.
Betty escapes and moves all the other kids from the farm into her house.
What?
But now Kevin is a part of the cult.
Kevin?
Kevin?
Archie returns home and gets stabbed by a random child.
I gotta stop stabbing that guy.
He's got so many holes in him. All right, now we're taking a brief moment. They've been neglecting Cheryl and Tony.
Okay.
How could they?
Tony is one of the serpents who Jughead met in season 2 when he transferred schools briefly. Tony saved Cheryl from conversion therapy, and they're dating now, and I'm definitely rooting for them. Shout out to the good gays.
Gay Cheryl.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
They're adorable.
All right. Anyways, Cheryl helps Betty infiltrate the farm, and it turns out it's actually an organ harvesting farm. And they're keeping Jason's body in the basement. The season culminates in a final real-life game of Griffins and Gargoyles.
How?
Now,
Where'd they get the gargoyles?
They're actually grotesque.
I was gonna say.
now, remember Betty's brother Charles?
Vaguely.
Yeah,
Turns out he's actually alive and is working for the FBI with Betty's mom, who is secretly an informant this whole time. And also, his father is FP Jones, is FP Jones, which makes him Jughead's brother, and so that means, chew on that for a while, Betty and Jughead are definitely related. There's a flash forward to the next season that implies Betty, Veronica, and Archie are all going to kill Jughead, so the mystery this time is how did we get to this point? Jughead gets into a prestigious college for his writing. Meanwhile, Betty is dealing with some troubling flashbacks and finds out she carries the serial killer gene.
The what?
The serial killer gene.
Of course.
It exists in the DNA. Betty's mom stops the leader of the farm from escaping to space in his rocket ship.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, his rocket ship. Maybe not.
Cheryl stole Jason's body from the farm, and her house is now being haunted by the spirit of her third triplet, who she absorbed in the womb, Julian. Meanwhile, Jughead is investigating a mystery surrounding the ghostwriter of a popular book series and a cover-up. As a result, the students make Betty believe that she killed Jughead. Betty, Veronica, and Archie discuss at length about how they're going to cover this up. Then they immediately return home in their underwear with blood on them, all get caught, and give 3 wildly different alibis for no reason.
Of course.
Yep.
It's okay though, because he's actually alive and he just has to hide out for a while. Anyway, these videotapes are being delivered all around town that feature people in masks of the main characters doing bad stuff and acting out their demises.
Oh my God!
Turns out the creator was Jughead's little sister Jellybean.
What?
Nobody knows why she did this.
Jelly bean.
Forsythia, no.
I've also been avoid talking about the musical episode because I don't even know what to say.
What?
But I have to mention this one because I initially forgot it was a musical episode. So imagine my face. I can't show you this because they're swearing in it. When they burst out into song out of complete nowhere. 7-year time skip.
What? I never want to hear.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts is so confusing. Oh, Metal Gear Solid is so confusing.
This isn't confusing. It's just very stupid.
I would say it is confusing with how wildly the lines are stretching.
It'll get confusing, don't worry.
Archie is back from the war.
What was that? What was that, Graham? What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do they explain what war?
I assume, well, because Archie is like what, in like the 60s or the 50s or something?
Not Riverdale.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea then. The war.
The war.
Did he get sent to Afghanistan?
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's modern. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's set
Oh yeah, this
today.
is modern.
Yeah, all of this.
Cheryl and Tony broke up. Betty is an FBI agent.
Right. Well, oh, an agent now. Okay.
Yeah.
Veronica is married and calls herself the She-Wolf of Wall Street. Literally every 5 seconds. Jughead is a published writer, but eventually they all return to Riverdale and become teachers with 0 qualifications.
Why?
I guess they've got a scrubs. Tony is pregnant, Kevin is dating and cheating on Fangs Fogarty, and they're thinking of adopting the baby, I think. Betty and Archie get together and do firefighter roleplay. Cheryl starts a cult. Jughead gets abducted by aliens. I repeat, Jughead gets abducted by aliens. Archie starts dealing with PTSD hallucinations, which means actors dressed as soldiers stand silently behind him all the time, and it's actually very funny. And the whole time, Betty has been investigating her sister Polly's disappearance. Jughead becomes the new owner of Pops. Tabitha, investigating this alien business, but gets sidetracked when Jughead needs to write a new book and fast. He decides to do magic mushrooms in the underground bunker to help him, but he disappears.
The underground bunker under the soda shop?
I guess.
Yeah. Well, it used to be Speakeasy that Veronica ran. They skip over that part, but it does happen. I'm not making that
Oh, did
up.
you miss that? It was so obvious.
You have to understand, this was after the war.
They also skip over the part where a bunch of them get involved in making tickle porn.
Can you explain when Jughead became not abducted by the aliens and now needs to write a book?
No.
It gets there.
We'll get there. We're about 3/4 of the way done.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now, we also find out Jughead broke up with Betty years ago, and he fell into a sewer and encountered the Rat King.
No, he didn't.
You are lying. That didn't happen.
Absolutely no.
And I think he had rabies. I don't know. Anyway.
I would hope the Rat King has rabies.
Oh, good. Chris.
That's a horrible thing to wish on somebody.
He's fine, but it turns out the aliens, who have been dubbed Mothmen, plural, are actually just a family of hillbillies in costumes. Phew. Everyone runs Veronica's dad out of town, but he retaliates by putting a bomb under the bed where Archie and Betty are boinking, and it explodes at the very end. Now,
At the very of the episode?
Yeah. I imagine they're both. I imagine it happens at the climax
Of the episode?
of the episode.
Of the episode.
Thank you.
Now, get this. The explosion opens a rift to an alternate universe. From now on, we are following the citizens of Riverdale.
Not a word of this is made up. All of this
This is all true. Now, this town is similar to Riverdale, but a little darker.
Darker?
Yeah.
And magic/supernatural occurrences are more common. Cheryl runs a school for girls out of her mansion where, I kid you not, They actually wear Neon Genesis Evangelion cosplay uniforms.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
They sure do.
Yep.
Chris. You ever do a boinking so good you open a rift to an alternate reality?
Twice.
A couple of times, yeah.
You ever boinking with an explosive finish so good?
Wow.
Save on your Comic-Con cosplay.
I think you're muted, Ian, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
The whole town sacrifices Archie.
Good.
But don't worry, he comes back to life.
Bus.
Okay.
Wait, how? When? He just comes back to life.
I don't know. There's this picture.
There sure is.
I'm sorry that I asked.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now, bear with me because this is where it gets confusing.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Dare you?
I love this show. I love this thread.
The Riverdale version of Jughead, who narrated the opening, pictured just a few tweets earlier, is found dead on the side of the road, an Archie comic in his hand. Now, we switch to following Riverdale Jughead. We will dub him Jughead Classic. He wakes up in Archie's garage, assuming that he sleepwalked there. He shakes it off and goes to school, but slowly starts to notice things seem off. What follows is one of my favorite sequences in television history.
Wow, they love John Hughes. Hey.
Oh, yeah, they lean in hard.
Now, is this when Jughead's a teacher?
Yes.
Okay. But he's seeing
the young versions.
Yeah. Including the previous.
unnecessary speed ramping.
I'm assuming the speed ramping's about to go to River.
And that's the young version of him.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, if I recall correctly, that's OG Reggie as well, who got recast after season 1.
Yes. So,
that's weird. Okay.
To clarify what happened, we have narrator Jughead from Riverdale, who is now dead.
Yep.
Jughead Classic from the OG universe, and young Jughead for a total of 3 Jugheads. It was at this point I asked myself, remember when the big conflict in this show was if Archie wanted to sing or play football? Now, Jughead Classic learns the news that apparently his body has been found, so he goes to the morgue to investigate. And sure enough, he sees the body of narrator Jughead. He goes through narrator Jughead's belongings and finds a collection of Archie comics, including the Jughead Paradox. Through the comic, he learns about the 2 dimensions and how they're colliding. They discover, to separate the universes, they need to recreate the events of the night of the explosion, when Archie and Betty were boinking. But before they can, Archie comes out and tries to strangle Jughead. It is revealed that Archie is the one who killed the narrator Jughead, and he also killed Veronica and Cheryl, all because he thinks the universes are colliding, and all because he thinks the universes colliding will reunite him with his father.
Yep. Ben, may I?
Yeah.
Thank you for that $300 donation, 1032787. I hope you're all enjoying this as much as I am.
It is almost done, I promise.
Let's go, man.
I'm choice. This is
I'm enjoying the heck out of this.
Oh wait, who left without me noticing? Matt. There we go. Luckily, Betty stops him. Oh, also, she does this in a wedding dress because her and Archie were about to get married. Don't worry about it.
Like when he strangled Jughead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Betty and Jughead then start making out
Oh my god!
to recreate the circumstances of the explosion night.
Yeah.
But with Jughead and not
Yes.
Archie.
Yeah.
But with the Archie, not the
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
But they're interrupted by narrator Jughead. He's alive. And while he was in heaven, and yes, there is a flashback,
To heaven.
he discovered a way to save both dimensions. Since narrator Jughead creates the story of the world, all they have to do is lock him in the underground bunker, where he'll continue to narrate their lives for the rest of eternity.
Riverdale is Omelos? And this is his suggestion.
Yes. Another explosion happens, and then they all go back to their normal lives. But it turns out this explosion, along with rendering Jughead partially deaf, gave the gang superpower.
They did this in one of the later seasons of Paw Patrol as well.
Okay.
They ran out of ideas, and they're like, everyone has superpowers now.
Is there that much making out?
No.
Well,
Betty can read auras.
That's not a superpower.
Archie has super strength.
Okay.
Veronica can generate poison from her body.
Excuse me?
Jughead
she
can
can
read
already.
minds.
Okay.
And Tabitha can time travel, which she does.
How come...
Tabitha.
Wait, who's Tabitha?
There's nobody named Tabitha in the original comics.
I've lost the narrative.
Okay, keep going.
With their superpowers, they face off against the powerful sorcerer, Percival Pickens. They trick him into walking through a portal to Riverdale, where he enters Jughead's mind, but doing so leaves his body vulnerable to attacks. They trick him into selling his soul to the devil, who calls himself Louis Cypher.
oh my god!
Yes.
Why?
no, Archie.
The devil.
This is wild.
The devil calls himself Louis Cypher.
Please allow me to introduce myself. My name really sucks.
Now, here's the thing. He has actually been present this whole season.
Of course.
But the literal devil showing up and bringing with him actual biblical plagues felt like an unimportant plot point, if you can believe it. Now, in his last moments, he has somehow changed the trajectory of a comet, making it head straight for Riverdale.
A Riverdale Reborn.
And that is where the thread ends regarding, because it was just writing up to the finale of the show.
Of the show or of that season?
Of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Now,
goodness.
one last thing.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Here are a couple of subplots that didn't make the cut.
Oh yeah, I want to hear these because there's a few that I've thought of.
Yeah. Archie gets mauled by a bear.
What kind of bear?
Sword Archie online.
How
dare you, 11:30?
bear.
In Canada, yeah, I guess. Tony becomes, I always mispronounce this ghost name, La Llorona. Betty's Dark Betty alter ego. If you remember the syrup waterboarding.
Yeah, way back in season 1.
Dark Betty.
There was a tickle porn thing. Cheryl becomes possessed by her ancestor, who is burned at the stake. Reggie being recast and the original actor returning as an alternate dimension Reggie. The writers coming up with increasingly ridiculous excuses for Archie to be shirtless at all times. People being able to trigger Betty into a dissociative fugue by saying the word tangerine. Veronica literally killing her husband, whose name was Chadwick, BT Dubs. Cheryl stalking Josie from Josie and the Pussycats and mailing her a pig heart. And Twitter thread.
Yeah.
Gee.
I think you got most of the ones that I was thinking of.
Oh my God.
The only extensions that I would add on to there is that when there were two Reggies, Veronica definitely shot her shot and tried to go for both.
Who would even want one?
Get it, girl.
Yeah, respect. And I can't remember if it was right when Louis Cypher first shows up or later on, but he's trying to steal Pop's diner. And if I recall correctly, I'm checking notes here, but at the episode climax, there is a milkshake that helps resolve this situation that contains tears shed by the Virgin Mary at the crucifixion. And Louis bursts into flames, so they get to keep the diner, which is good, because later it turns into a time machine.
Oh, wait. Somebody said that they actually finished that thread, which I mean we can go find at some point, but like that is the reason that I popped off when Riverdale was talking about.
Jesus. I want nothing more than to read this as an actual Archie comic in the style
oh my God.
of theirs.
Somebody has to make that. I would love
Thank
that.
you for that $69 donation that just says why.
Did you know that Sabrina is also part of that same universe?
Yeah. Yes.
That's the not weird part.
Yeah. Superhero stuff is also in like the original comics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they never got into the RC racers in this, which is
I don't
my
know.
mind.
I don't know why they made Cheryl go all witchy and sacrifice you when Alexandra Cabot was right there in the universe.
I mean, yeah, that's valid.
Did they put her in? Did they put the Cabots in?
Also, I got called out. I only watched a little more without you, Sandra. These are mostly updates from a conversation with someone else who's been live updating me as they've been going through.
Oh, all right. It's one. It's one message.
Yeah, what's it say?
So the big comet coming down to Riverdale. Cheryl absorbs everyone's powers to stop the comet, which makes her impervious to bullets. But it somehow transported them to the year 1955, and now they're all in high school again.
This is a prequel?
It just loops forever, I guess.
Yeah.
Great.
The Archie theorem.
Yep. It's such a
wow.
It's such a show.
Oh hey, there's Todd in the Shadows.
Thank you.